leads them well. Of course, he's one who made the Liverpool selection from Jurgen Klopp. In defence, Joel Matip's return from injury is time.
Kick off.
Anfield enters a new fullback who's given it away to Keanu over.
I think they look to obviously play football what you would class as the right way. It's different.
Blackpool, a club that's had some great characters as their manager. That's a foul by James Milner, and there we say it on another day, probably a yellow card, as well as Hamilton was just trying to stretch away from. Away by Hamilton, working hard to get there before James Milner. Looking for Taki Minamino, it comes to Fabinho, and there was just enough of a little pull.
Yeah, really give him the licence to
run. Just over. That's beautifully done by Mane to Firmino. That's a fine piece of defending. Lovely control to just get it from Hamilton. He looked as though he might have just spotted Alisson a little off his line there and maybe just tried to catch the goalkeeper out. It was no danger in the end. It's Mane. Just a good piece of defending by Turton, making sure that there was no way past. He goes for goal. Didn't need the man in support. It's a fine finish by Hamilton, giving Alisson no chance, and Blackpool have the lead.
Well, you have to say it's been coming. They've been dangerous in a couple of breaks, have Blackpool, and really Billy Committee will just not decisive.
At Mansfield, he's persuaded. Nice stop, but the flag's up anyway against Minamino as the shot is delivered. Well, it's not him. Time and a place. Wasn't the nicest ball to him. Liverpool wants a free kick there for it.
Well, that's against 3 at times.
Good take by Alisson under a little bit of pressure.
Steady, John. You were even never under pressure.
Nice, Roberto Firmino. What would have been an effort on goal, and certainly given the goalkeeper problems.
Well, James Milner here
with a cross. It picks out Minamino. His touch just lets him down. The goalkeeper will make the save as Firmino hooks towards goal. Comfortable for Maxwell again. Husband flying into a challenge, and Keanu were just checking that everything's still in place there. If it was anything, it looked as though it was perhaps just outside the penalty area. As it is, it looks like we're going to have nothing other than a corner. Well, against Alisson. That's a fantastic penalty. We saw some absolute crackers in the Community Shield a week ago.
Well, it's not a long run up, but certainly.
Sorry if the goalkeeper got a little touch on that. The referee says he doesn't. It was a fine effort.
It's a great effort from.
The delivery is good, and it's in, and it's beautifully done by Joel Matip. Liverpool do find a goal to get themselves back into the game, and it was beautifully done by the big man.
Well, it's a lovely ball from James Milner. We've seen him put a lot of balls in from this left-hand side.
Towards Firmino. He does have support. That's a fine piece of defending to make sure there was no way through from Keshi Anderson, who went all the way with Roberto Firmino. And Dinane. Great take by Firmino. Stab towards goal, and comfortable for Maxwell.
That's the old-fashioned toe poke when you just can't really. A little bit better in the second half. I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 substitutions. I'm not quite sure that will happen. Roberto Firmino, but it takes its toll, and physically it's demanding.
Edge is Milner. It won't come for Salah. For Milner. He's done well to win the block challenge, and Firmino's effort is beaten away by the goalkeeper, who's only just come on, but watched that very well.
That's a decent effort from Roberto Firmino.
This is Firmino. A lot of white shirts in the way. Towards Minamino. It comes off Sadio Mane, and it does eventually go in. It was all pinballing around the penalty area, and Sadio Mane eventually profits from it. Huge stroke of luck with the clearance striking him, and then him taking advantage of that.
Well, after a couple of ricochets,
The goalkeeper, it's Keanu over, and Minamino, and in for Liverpool. Brilliantly done by Roberto Firmino. Quick feet, and Liverpool now lead.
well, there's a little bit more intensity about Liverpool's build-up play, a little bit sharper. Took Blackpool under a little bit more pressure. They're making mistakes.
And it comes towards Yates. And that little ricochet up, they are appealing for a penalty. In the end, they have to make do with a corner. Dan Kemp it was who defended in. Keanu over. Salah for Minamino. Looking for Naby Keita, beautifully won. Oh. Would have been some goal, and he bent that in after winning the ball like that.
Well, he deserved to score from there, because that's not...
Midfielder, talking about sprightly. Harvey Elliott was on the... It's a really, really good finish. The goalkeeper frustrated, felt he could have kept it out, but Harvey Elliott gets Liverpool's fourth, and it is much more now. And Firmino still going here, and it's Minamino, and it's another Liverpool goal. But that is all about Roberto Firmino, who got the ball on the edge of his own penalty area, went the length of the field, and teed up Minamino for Liverpool's fifth. Brilliant from Roberto Firmino.
Well, when you're talking about transition from defence into attack, this is what you're talking about. You just don't quite see it there, that Firmino makes up.
It's Kemp with the delivery towards Elliott. That's a good Origi. Still got it. The goalkeeper manages to get a foot on it, but the flag is up against Divock Origi. Jack Sims probably needed that. He nearly bundled his way through there. Comes to Jones again. Closer, but again not on target.
Well, again, he's involved. He's busy.
6 for Liverpool. Divock Origi with the simplest of tasks to turn it home after some lovely build-up play. Well, Liverpool. And Keita's cross, and round the back is Elliott. Oh, it's lovely from Liverpool. It's beautifully done. It's Van den Berg in the end who was run hand to tap the ball over the line. But whatever Milner and Minamino decided they were doing with it, well, it's...